There we go. All right. $5.19. All righty, I guess I'll get started, Heather. So, good evening, everybody. Thanks for attending. Sorry for the late start, but we're having a little bit of technical difficulties and actually still waiting for Councillor Knickel from MODL to be able to join us. I think he's going to make it by phone, but some technical difficulties getting him here. So with that said, I do believe we still have enough for a quorum, so I'd like to call the meeting to order. Next, I'd like to acknowledge the Mi'kma'ki ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people that we are upon. So next on the agenda then would be a motion to approve what is before us. So anybody looking to make a motion, please? Moved by Councillor Croft. Do I have someone to second? Second by Christie. Thank you. All in favor? I've got a hard job to see everybody. Let me see, 1, 2, 3. Yep, all in favor. Great. Thank you. So with me included, that should be 4. That should be enough. So motion is carried. Thank you much. So now on to motion to approve the minutes of March the 11th. Any omissions of note? Not hearing any. I would then look for a motion to approve. Moved by Kim, seconded by... Did I get a second, or I got to go up and down with my screen on a second by Danny? I can't get everybody all in the picture. Ah, there we go. That's better. Thank you. So moved by Ms. Hanlon, seconded by Councillor Croft. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you much. So on to section 5, business arising from the minutes. So it brings us 5A, the Ice Resurfacer fundraising committee notes. So this is just basically for information only. Unless someone has any questions, we can just move on. Not seeing any. Okay, Councillor Croft, go ahead, sir.
Just wondering the status of that committee. Is it still in place, or are they have they disbanded?
To my knowledge, we have not scheduled another meeting. So unless Ms. Cunningham or Ms. McCallum knows of anything that I don't, I would say that since we've already approved the purchase in the budget, that the committee has been considered not necessary anymore, but I'll wait for staff to make comment.
Sure, I can answer. So with COVID, we kind of got off track and we weren't able to do our last meeting. However, since then we've been able to get our full amount for the ice resurfacer. So a follow-up email will be coming to the subcommittee or committee for the ice resurfacer.
Okay, thank you very much. Any further questions? That good, Danny?
I guess it's good. I was just wondering if Errol's on the line and can confirm that the 20,000 is indeed from the municipality, or if Kelly can confirm that.
The 20,000 from the municipality, Kelly?
Sorry, what was the question about the 20,000?
MODL's commitment is good?
Yes.
And just a 1 year, not spread over 2?
No, so yeah, that was just the 1 year, and we also got an operational amount grant from MODL, and as well as the 10,000 for the structural roof repairs for the community center.
Great.
So they're just waiting for proof of purchase for the money.
Okay. Thank you. So that should take us on to 5B, recreation report for May and August. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to read the August one yet, but.
So the May one was circulated for the last meeting that we did not end up having due to the not enough agenda items. So the August report did go out later today. My apologies. So Heather can perhaps bring it up as I'll just highlight a few points.
Just stand by one moment, please.
Okay, thank you. While she's working on it, I can just start reviewing a few. So from the beginning with the arena, so the Lunenburg Farmers Market began using the arena on June 18th for online order assembly and distribution. And they've also been holding an outdoor farmers market in the arena and community center parking lot for the summer months of July and August. There's some few operational parts for the arena. So the ice resurfacer room is being renovated, which further details in the report. We have new LED lighting over the ice surface and main area. We're getting emergency lights installed in 1, 2, and 3, and some tenders are going out for additional work. The big update is regarding the ice resurfacer. So at the July 28th council meeting, the following motion was passed for a 2021 Olympia ice resurfacer be purchased from Monarch Enterprise with an additional 2 blades and 1 propane ice edger. So that's made possible from funding, reserves, grants, and donations. So that is wonderful news for our facility. There are a few community center operational items there as well. So the LED lighting has also been installed in the auditorium, and the gym floor has been refurbished. The Heritage Bandstand is now run by the town. So that's now owned by the town. Public Works is doing the maintenance, and Recreation oversees the scheduling and rental agreements for that. The community center began a partial reopening from COVID-19, causing it to close and suspend programs in March, and it reopened on July 23rd with terms and conditions in place that can be found on the town's website and also social media, and it's posted throughout the facility. There are time slots available for drop-in programs and rentals, and we are now looking at our fall 2020 fitness programs to organize those and have public health measures in place for those. And we've had a lot of special events over the last little bit. They're a little bit different this year due to COVID, and everything is virtual, but nevertheless, we're still able to celebrate Lunenburg's birthday. We held a virtual Canada Day celebration, which has over 560 views, which is fantastic. We had a virtual pride raising ceremony, and all those can be found on the town's YouTube page. We are now planning for the Fishers Memorial Service, which will be held virtually September 13th at 2, and the Provincial Volunteer Awards ceremony that was supposed to be previously is now rescheduled for Facebook Live on September 28th. And at the very bottom is just a picture of the lovely recreation staff for our Canada Day submission towards the event. Thank you. Ronnie, I think you're muted.
Yeah. Try and avoid the background noise earlier, yes. So thank you. Any further questions for Kelly about the reports from May or August. Yes, Councillor Croft, go ahead.
Got a bunch of questions.
Sure.
Just first off, I guess wondering, Kelly, your status as far as being back at the office. Are you back there now, or are you still at home?
Sure. So I am back in the office. Currently, I'm not in the office. I was in there earlier. However, back here for the meeting. But I am in the office now. I've had some vacation, so I was off for the last little bit, but I am basically back in the office and we are operational.
And another question I had was around the ice resurfacer, and just wondering the status of the old one and what's the plans there. Is that going to be put up on tender, or what's the plan there for that?
So the ice resurfacer that we will be purchasing, unfortunately, has a 300-day delivery. So it's a little bit long. They said we may be able to get it in order for the end of the season. So fingers crossed for that. So we will be requiring the usage of our current one. We'll be getting some work done and getting some professionals to look at it just to make sure that we will be good for the season, for whatever avenue that may look like.
So will we tender what we have once the new one arrives? Will we then put the old one out to see what we can get for it?
That decision, nothing has been finalized for decision based on that. I know that when we were discussing it, they did say that we could put it out for auction, and that we could, I don't have the exact number in front of me, but we could get a few $1,000s for it. So I'm not exactly sure, is that a staff decision maybe? Is that committee? I'm not exactly sure how that would work. If anyone has any thoughts on that.
I don't know. Be able to answer that question for us, maybe?
Hi there. The town does have a surplus equipment policy. So you're quite right. It would eventually be put up for sale. We do it through a tender process. And depending upon the value of the asset, I think that is typically a contract or sale that the staff can approve. Does that answer the question?
Good for me, Councillor Croft. Yeah, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, B.
Anything further, Danny?
I did, but I can't remember what I was going to ask.
I was going to ask about the tender and getting rid of the old one too, so I'm glad you asked that one.
Oh, I guess my other question was about activities and things like pickleball and different things. Is there a phase-in period when that can be moved indoors at all? Or I've heard of other facilities doing like outdoor yoga and different things like that. So I'm just curious how we're going to phase things in, I guess.
Sure. So we currently do have drop-in pickleball and badminton available in the community center. Pickleball is on Tuesdays and Fridays in the morning, and badminton is on Wednesdays in the morning. So the terms and conditions in place for that is that people will have to register one day prior, and there's different protocols that they'll have to follow depending on what the drop-in is. So that is currently available. As we figure out the needs and staff capabilities and all that sort of thing, we'll be able to increase the time slots and change to if required, to better suit the community. The summer is typically a not as busy time slot, but so there is that opportunity as of right now. However, there is an outdoor pickleball that has been, or pickleball net, or sorry, court, that has been painted on the Blue Nose Academy basketball court. So that was done in consultation with Blue Nose Academy. So we do have new pickleball nets. We have 3 portable ones, so those ones can be moved outdoors to use, as well as used indoors.
Great, thank you. I guess I had one, I'm not sure, it might be more for the AT, but you might be able to answer it now. We had talked about some signage upgrades along the trail and whatever. There was money in the budget. Did any of that work get done, or is any of that scheduled to be done?
So we did order 4 signs. 2 is for the Back Harbor Trail and 2 is for the Front Harbor Trail. The exact location on Back Harbor Trail, I can't quite say confidently. However, those should be out. I did have the guys put them out for right now. I'll double check, but those are out of my office and I asked the guys to do that. So
Okay. Yeah. I have to admit, I'm not a trail user, so I didn't see them. So just why I'm asking. Alrighty. So that should take care of 5B, which should move us on to 5C, to the Crosswalk Flag Program Maintenance Status. So, this is a whole lot more here than what I remember looking at last time.
Do you want me to take it over, Ronnie?
Yeah, if you would, please, because there's a lot more information here than when I read it last.
Yes. So there was some information that was posted this afternoon. So the Crosswalk Flag Program, the original request came from the AT committee, and it was one of the awaiting items from the October 9th, 2019 recreation meeting. So that is why it's on the agenda tonight, just because it was one of the awaiting items in the chart below. So included in the package, which was added, is a staff report from the town engineer in 2016, and a council motion from 2016 as well, and a newspaper article stating information. So the Recreation Committee wasn't made aware of this 2016 staff report, as we were just able to find that after the October 9th meeting. So in the council's motion, it says that Blue Nose Academy will maintain the flags. So since this original request originally came from AT, I'm not sure if the best avenue tonight would just be to provide this information back to AT, who can discuss it further and see how it goes. I will leave the floor open.
I know this was before my time that the original request took place, and it did come back up after we got the AT subcommittee finally up and running. And it seems like it's been a bit of a tennis ball being batted back and forth as far as who really wanted to take ownership and who was actually going to want to do what. So I think I'm the only constant between both groups of people. So other than staff, and the biggest thing I think is still who's going to be responsible for the so-called maintenance, or even placing them in the bucket when there's some missed, or bucket could use a top at a particular location. Right now with COVID though, I noticed they've all been especially removed early on, with rightfully so, with all the concerns. I thought the question of the day might have been, are we going to put them back, or when are we going to put them back? So is that something we can tackle as this group, or do we think that should go back to the AT group as well? Just looking for comments or suggestions, I guess.
I have a comment.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
obviously, I think when it comes to the terms of when they get put back, is really out of our hands right now. I don't think anyone in the community wants, there's no way to sanitize them. There's no, I think that's not even an option at the time. But, this back and forth between who's going to do things, and I don't know, I see Melissa, I haven't been dealing with this for that many years, but I'm just wondering if, she said she's the one that will be the representative and make sure that the spare flags are always there and available. I don't know. Is that who we kind of push it towards? I'm not a part of the AT, obviously.
Well, unfortunately, right now, she's not the SAC rep. The new rep is Scott McMillan, I think is proper. And he wasn't aware of all of the previous information that I've got before us now. So maybe if we put this on the agenda for the AT meeting, which is later on this month, we can provide all that information back to Scott and have him then take it to the SAC once school starts to open, with the effect of who's going to do what, because I think he still was unsure on what the school was going to be responsible for or what to actually take ownership of. And again, most of the players that were around the table back in 2016 are certainly not there in 2020. So school principal has changed, reps have changed, government's changed, it's all changed. So how to keep the continuity is also a bit of a mystery, so I say. Yes, sir, Councillor Croft, go ahead.
Well, like your idea, I think maybe it wouldn't hurt to have a member of the SAC on the Active Transportation Committee. So that way, you're always in contact with them. So I'm not sure how many members you have or need, but I would suggest maybe inviting them to the committee.
Well, we do have Scott, who is a member of the SAC, the SAC, and he does regularly sit on the AT subcommittee. So I think probably the best thing to do then would be refer all the information that we have here, make sure it gets on the AT agenda, and hopefully we can discuss it there with maybe a clear directive of which way we would like to see this go. That makes some sense to everyone. I see some nodding heads around the table. So let's do that. We'll put everything that we've got, every small stick of information that we have together, make sure it really finds its way to the AT subcommittee, and we'll start the discussion there again. And I'll make sure I've got all of this read, because I think I've read it before, but quite a while ago, so I'm not super familiar with it myself. All righty, so.
I would agree, Mr. Chairman. I would agree with Kim's comments that, it's pretty hard to sanitize that stuff at this point, and really it's probably shouldn't even be put out there.
Agree. I think that would probably be something that would be a provincial directive of when we could safely put these back in place. But we can, again, make that a topic for discussion at the AT group.
Hi, folks. Bob Sayer here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can, Bob, loud and clear.
Oh, good.
So
I see no picture right now.
No, I don't see a picture of you either. Do you have on the bottom of your screen somewhere is a start show video? For me, it shows up on the bottom left corner, but not everyone.
Okay. Start video.
Yes.
Ah,
here you are. Wonderful.
So you're probably better off without me on picture.
That's quite all right. So I believe your timing is impeccable.
As always.
We have just finished Section 5, and now on to Section 6, which is our new business. And new business is the proposed nomination to the Nova Scotia Sports Hall of Fame for the Lunenburg Lasers soccer team. So discussion and recommendation to council is before us. And Mr. Sayer, if you'd like the floor to speak, go right ahead.
Yes, I'm already in the Nova Scotia Sports Hall of Fame, as some of you may know. And I coached the Lunenburg Lasers in the 1980s. And I think you have a copy of the suggested submission, don't you?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, it was an extraordinary team that brought a lot of publicity to the town and was based on town players. The town was very kind to us. We went to a number of national and Eastern Canadian championships, and the town always gave us financial support for travel. The town also hosted a number of receptions in our honor, and Mayor Mawhinney then did appear at an Eastern Canadian and a national championships, which was hosted right here in Lunenburg. I get the record of the team speaks for itself, and it would seem to me appropriate if the town whose name we used and on behalf actually support us by writing the letter of nomination. And I guess I'll answer any questions that people have. I don't think you want me to read the submission, do you?
I don't think, unless there's anyone else that would like to ask a question and comments. I've read it and quite amazed by the accomplishment as well.
Yeah, there are one or two people I see there who will have known the Lasers and their accomplishments at that time. I'd like to meet with Kelly to discuss some details afterwards. There's no rush on the submission. It's not, the deadline is November. So we're acting in plenty of time. And I just thought if I could meet with Kelly, there's some interesting detail on how we should finally word the application. So if you're up for that, Kelly, if the committee vote in favor, you and I could meet. And I think it's just a matter of approach. Kim will remember the Lasers.
No.
Oh, video gone?
I don't think I remember the Lasers.
Oh, don't tell me you're too young, Kim.
I'm very young.
Rachel was a Laser. Are you hearing me, Rachel? I see her picture there. No, I think it would be very appropriate for the town to make the nomination. And I think we stand, well, I can't say that I'm biased, of course. I think we stand a very good chance of a serious consideration to go into the Hall of Fame. And it would be kind of nice to have a Lunenburg town in the Provincial Sports Hall of Fame. But I can't speak for the final decision. That's why I wanted to talk to Kelly perhaps a little. She can go over it and make any recommendations on wording and so on.
Okay, so I'm not sure how I should handle this. See your hand, Danny, just hold on for a second. Being a relative of someone that's played on the team, I'm wondering if I shouldn't actually recuse myself for having a possible biased interest. So having said that, I guess the next person that I would pass the meeting on to then to finish the chair would probably be Councillor Croft. And I'll turn it over to Danny to speak.
Well, if you've recused yourself, and I don't think we have enough for a quorum then, so all I would suggest was that Mr. Sayer and Kelly meet and put the details together. And I would recommend that we pass it on to council for further discussion and forwarding the letter on to the appropriate parties.
I'm certainly not opposed to that, but just wondering maybe to be for clarity on how that should work going forward with just, we still have Danny, Christy, and Kim. Is that enough to put this forward, or?
Well, your quorum number is reduced accordingly, so you should be okay if you did want to make a motion. But for that matter, if you just wanted to agree by consensus that it be moved on to council for consideration, I think that's fine. The minutes could reflect that. You know, as you'll recall, the test for conflict of interest or potential interest, I should say, is any pecuniary interest. So it may be remote that you have an interest, but it's always best to declare if in doubt and put that forward. So just wanted to mention that. Thank you.
Yeah, there is no financial gain, but I certainly would be biased in my wanting to move it forward. So just so again, not to want to sway the vote one way or another, which is why I thought that maybe it might be best to excuse myself. But I think if Councillor Croft's idea is solid, we could still put it to a vote and see where it goes from there. So
I think it's probably important that your recommendation goes forward.
So Danny's making.
Recommending that at least go forward to council, to town council, and they can deal with the issue there. I'm certainly in favor of it. So.
Okay, we'll have a mover. Do we have a seconder? Miss Hanlon beat Miss Thibault's hand up by my camera. So all in favor? All righty, by consensus, we'll say motion is carried. And
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much, folks. And if I'm needed at the council meeting, I'd be happy to appear.
All right.
And I should perhaps even get Lawrence to come in because he was very much involved with the town backing the team. If that's needed, you guys know. And Rachel can let me know.
All right. So we'll leave it up to you and Miss Cunningham to get together then and finalize the paperwork. So
Kim, I'm going to sit down at curling and lecture you on an hour on the Lunenburg lasers, okay? And Kelly, can you contact me? I'd just like your advice on how a couple of details. I also coach Kelly, you know.
You did.
That's why she has those emotional scars.
Thank
you very much. Shall I bail out?
All right. Thank you, sir. Mr. Sayer.
This. Escape.
Right. Bye now.
Thank you, folks.
All righty. So with that topic of discussion move further. Yes, sir, Mr. Croft.
Just curious, can you guys hear me well on the computer? I'm not sure if everything's coming through clear or not. I just had Eastlink in doing some upgrades or checking things, and I'm still not sure the system's working well.
Better today than normally when you're at a council meeting, but still not fantastic. How's that?
Yeah, it's a little patchy.
I think it's computer issues, not Wi-Fi then.
So yeah, you're using both the camera and the video from, or sorry, yeah, the camera, the video and the audio from your laptop.
Councillor Croft, Lisa does have some webcams to attach to computers if you wanted to, if that might help, and some hardwired cable if it might assist if you're going through Wi-Fi now. So she'll be back tomorrow if you wanted to contact her.
Yeah, that's what I use. I use just a webcam and my computer comes through the webcam on my PC at home. So mine seems to work okay, but so it might be worth a shot anyway. All righty. So that, I think, with that topic moving forward. Yes, sir, Mr. Councillor Croft.
I seem to be breaking up here again, but I just wanted to bring up the fact that your next meeting is November the 18th. And that will be after the next municipal elections.
That is correct.
So you're going to lose myself as a member of the committee, because I will not be reoffering. And I don't know who else, but anyways, I certainly will volunteer to stay on the committee until you get a new one set up. But I just want to make that a point that I'm not sure how your committee structure is going to work for the November 18th meeting.
And I'll also add that I have a conflict on the 18th of November, so I won't be able to attend that meeting.
Okay. Hopefully you're going to stay with us as a committee member though, Kim?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Well, we can reschedule. Yeah, we can make the date reschedule and work around that. But myself, like Councillor Croft, I'm not sure that I'll be chairing this committee come November. One, I may not get reelected. Two, I may not be chosen to run this committee. So it might look quite different come November. So we'll have to see. But as of now, we'll tentatively schedule for November the 18th. And hopefully I will see at least some of you back here again come then. And thank you, Councillor Croft, for at least staying on as a committee member in November if needed. And again, thank you for your many years of service on this committee. It's been appreciated and very well done. So I'd like to just put my 2 cents worth in for thanks.
Okay, thank you. Also, the fact that I'm not sure if Errol is going to be re-offering as well. So
agree, and I didn't. Was that him I heard on the phone or no? Okay, I heard some mumbo jumbo, and I wasn't sure if he chimed in. I didn't see him on the attendee side either, so unfortunately, I don't think he was able to join us this afternoon. So, having said that, the next meeting dates for the rec committee are in November. Active transportation is the end of this month on the 26th Wednesday. So the biggest thing of note is the Crosswalk flags. So without hearing anything else that we may want to refer to AT, I'd look for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Councillor Croft, seconded by Christie. Thank you, Ms. Thibault. All in favor? Motion adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody. Night.
Thank you. See ya. See you later.
yeah.
Bye all.